What are your thoughts on AI? What are the pros and the cons, the usage? Does any part of it make you feel icky? Yeah. Listen in today on the Creative Shop Talk podcast as two friends. You can eavesdrop in on us who are both of a certain age, sit down and have a chat, just literally sharing our thoughts as we're running businesses in this age of AI. Let's have a chat. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for being here. This is the real Wendy. We are not podcasting with AI voices who are perfectly perfect. We are perfectly imperfect around here. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for listening every week. We have a lot of new listeners, so thank you. If you are wondering, what does Wendy do? If you're new, or maybe you're returning and you haven't thought about it for a while, I have programs and services. You can jump onto my website, wendybatten.com, and I am on a mission to share what I know to small business owners who may need to just step into their leadership, put on their CEO hat, and make sure that you're running a life and a business. We call it life first business building around here, and doing both with your CEO hat on and running meaningful businesses. I only work with people who are running businesses that matter in their community, making ripple effects right along, as we like to say. So thank you for being here. Again, jump on my email list if you're interested in our upcoming programs, like our upcoming summer school. It's going to be so fun. If you want to know more about that, you can jump on my email list. Again, you can go grab that at wendybatten.com. Jump into my DMs if you'd like. I can share with you there. We can have a conversation. I love to continue conversations around the podcast in the DMs. So that's something I love. And spring is here in all my imperfectness, as we like to say, the non-AI, not the non-AI things. You're probably hearing the birds chirp. It's spring here where I live, and finally, it's been a long time coming, and the birds are chirping outside. So there you go. I hope you can hear them. Hope you can enjoy them as well with me. Okay, today I have a special guest on the podcast, my friend Deanne Fitzpatrick of hookingrugs.com. And her and I were chatting a little bit back and forth on something that in the DMs on our Instagram, as we do, right? And she had been scammed. She shared a little story, and we'll link that Instagram post in the show notes. And I said, let's talk about this on the podcast. And we're doing a dual podcast, so both of our podcasts are going to carry this episode or our chat. It's not even an episode. No script, no formatting. We just decided to have you eavesdrop in on two friends talking about AI. I do want to mention that I don't mention, that sounds funny. I wanted to mention that I don't mention in the podcast or in our conversation the fact that I'm being really curious and really cautious around AI. I don't think it's an option not to opt in to any kind of AI. You're already using it if you're on Instagram or you're on Canva or anything like that. So you're using AI. Don't think you're not. And I do think that there's so many wonderful things that can happen. And you'll hear Deanne and I talk about how we feel about the icky parts and the parts that we're not using it in. So I'm being cautious and I'm being curious, and I'm always cautious and curious about anything new, but I think it's important to have the conversations with yourself, with your team, with your business. I don't think it's a black and white decision, like I'm not going to use AI. That's like saying we're not going to use the internet. So you're using the internet if you're listening to me, probably. So Deanne talks about how she had got fooled a little bit, and what sparked that conversation, that post that she did. And I'm going to share in this episode, around our conversation, I share a little bit about how I won't be using it. Absolutely won't be using it. I won't be using it to be fake podcasting, which is a thing now, and not just yucky, right? Anyway, we'll talk about that. We also share our thoughts on the opportunities, I think, is a really great, and not where you think I might be talking about opportunities. There is opportunity for operational gains, meaning making things a little bit easier for us. And again, not getting lost in the weeds of time suck, because that's a big one. Losing so much time trying to get AI to do something for you when you could have just done it. Anyway, I have caught myself in that little loop sometimes. But there are amazing opportunities, I think. Well, you'll hear us chat about it. There's amazing opportunities because the counterculture to all of this is trust and connection, and meaningful businesses are going to thrive. So if you care about what your people care about, if you care about people, if you care and you build trust and you are doing all those things, well, that's all the stuff that I teach, and that's all the stuff that I believe in. I truly believe in. I think there's so many opportunities. There is actually a rise on there's a rise on people buying in person for the first time in a long time, because people are craving connection, they're craving real, they want to touch, feel, see, smell, experience your retail businesses. So there's a counterculture there. We'll talk a little bit about that. So without further ado, let's jump in, and you can eavesdrop in on my friend Deanne Fitzpatrick and I. We were going to call this one like two old broads talking about AI, but that probably doesn't sound very good. Definitely wouldn't work for SEO, but that's what it is. It's Deanne and I. I'm 58 and she's over 60, so let's just see what happens and join us and eavesdrop into our conversation on AI and how we're doing with it. Okay, let's go. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk Podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business, with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Well, here we are.
Here we are. Hi, Wendy. I'm Deanne from HookingRugs.com, Create Beauty Everyday podcast, and you are?
I'm Wendy Batten from a Creative Shop Talk Podcast, and we are doing a joint podcast today. I'm very excited
Right.
about this.
Right, we are. I'm excited about it too. I've been thinking about it all day and earlier in the week too. I was thinking about how I got fooled, right, by AI. And when I Googled it, there's this new trend, where there's these people who aren't real
Mhm.
giving advice as if they were real. So I watched this woman and she was giving business advice, and I thought, isn't she clever? I did think, how does she keep her voice so perfect? My, I wish I could do that.
She probably had perfect skin and a nice, beautiful background and hair
She
all.
actually had beautiful background. She was older, and that's part of the trend, the aging person giving advice. And when I Googled that woman, there was no story, there was no life, there was no person. And I had sent it to my daughter, of course. You have a daughter similar age to mine, and my daughter didn't respond, which is not like my daughter. And she said to me, Mom, I knew that was AI, because I said to her the next day, I think this is AI. And she said, I knew that. But she said, people your age are getting fooled, I think, more than people my age. She's 29 or something. Yeah.
It's
Like,
it's scary, isn't it? It's like it's icky. I feel like it's all icky, and that's the
yeah,
thing.
it's odd. It's unusual. It's
Mhm.
it's like something new that we've never had to contend with before. And I'm 60, and I've had a website since my first website was made on Netscape. So
Yeah.
it's old.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah. So I just wrote down here, I had my first computer in 1995.
Right.
That's a long time ago.
That's a
Like,
long time ago. So I'm pretty comfortable. I have an Instagram account, I have a Facebook account. I can manage my own website. I'm pretty good. And now I feel like I have to be vigilant. I feel like now, if I want to follow someone on Instagram, I want to check out their website first. So websites, I think, are going to be even more important, right? And their Google history is I mean, not I don't think you need to do it for everybody, but if I don't know they're real, I
mm,
think I think well, what's happening is authenticity is going to be
yes,
majorly important, right?
I feel that the trust. So and the reason we're doing this podcast is we were talking about this sort of in the DMs in our, we were having a back
Yeah,
and forth about this. And I thought, if we're thinking this way, a lot of people are thinking this way.
right.
And I think there's a trust. I feel like because of this, there's actually an opportunity. It's actually, maybe it's a good thing in a way. I don't know. But there's a trust opportunity. That's why we build, I hate saying just audiences, but like communities. You and I are both building communities of people
Yeah.
that, we hope and there is a counterculture when something that there's a counterculture, there's a counter thing. Like everybody's going. I'm
Hmm.
seeing that and I'm sure you're seeing it in your world. More and more people are actually coming in stores, an increase in foot in actually coming into stores because they want to see that you're human and you're real and they want to touch the wool and they want to experience real because they don't want to get faked out. There's going to be more
Yeah.
and more reasons to have a website, yes, but I mean, now they're probably been cloning website. I don't know. There's
Yeah,
just so much
for
crap,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
But there's more and more reason for when I find you or and I find a business like you found that lady.
Hmm.
If it's too perfect, I mean, if there's
Hmm.
only just, I mean, this is where our humanity, our human side needs to come out, our team, our art, or whatever it is we're doing. I think we need to just
Yeah.
be real, show the messy. I know we're not
I
videoing,
know.
but I'm like, I've got
Like,
a messy background behind me, and it's just and the flaws and I think we really need to also build the trust factor because we're getting faked out all the time. Like both of us have been faked out many times,
mm,
or
yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's
it's happening. And like after that video, like I usually do get, when I do my videos, I usually do get, primped up a bit and look after myself. And, I just generally am like that anyway.
yeah,
And after that video, I just did a little video in a hoodie in my living room. Like just I think showing up as we are, is okay. It's fine,
yeah.
right? Um Showing up, and I used to think, gee, maybe I should take some I used to think maybe I should take some like elocution or lessons
Mm.
in how to present myself
Yep.
publicly. And really, I'm not interested in that at all now. I am not interested in that at all. And there's nothing wrong with doing that if you are interested in that. But I just want to show up with my little Newfoundland accent that comes and goes and my little Nova Scotia twang and just as I am, because really essentially that's all I have to offer my community. And that is, I think, when we show up as we are and we offer our ideas and our creativity and our energy as we are, that is a lot to offer. I think it's worth offering, and it's a worthwhile offering. And if people connect with that, then that's, to me, that's way more important than being slick. I'm not interested in slick because slick now feels not real.
Slick feels icky to me.
Mhm.
It's so interesting. I just had a meeting with my team this morning, and we have some messy bits in our business. And I
Yeah.
actually, for a minute, I was like, that's not so bad. I mean, messy bits and meaning that like spelling error here and there. And
Yeah,
not
things
that
that
I'm
you
not advocating that. I'm just like,
no,
well,
I know.
we're human. I'm not saying I can just
Yeah, you're not going to misspell
I
things on
can feel all
purpose.
my like I have clients that are they're like, no, don't
I
let's spell
know.
it. But in the same breath, it is I hate that we have to feel this way, but
Mm.
again, this is maybe an opportunity for us, for our listeners, for our communities,
Yeah.
just to remember that to know who you're talking to, know who you're watching.
Hmm.
I'm okay, I want to talk about it just yeah, I'm gonna go back to this. Just making sure you know who you're talking to. It's a trust factor. This is where
Yeah.
and I teach a lot of marketing, a lot of my coaching clients, we do a lot of marketing. And again, I love the word slick because you're right. It's more about real marketing and real community building and real nurturing of your audience. Like, we talk about visibility. Well, visibility and nurturing and serving your clients all has to come from a place of genuine alignment and genuine,
Yeah. I think
authentic.
caring. You have to care,
Yeah,
right?
and you have to be real and showing your team and showing the mess in the back room, whatever it is you have, whatever you're doing, wearing your hoodie.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Showing up.
So yeah, so it is funny. But I do also find myself, I'd love to touch like on your thought. And I don't know your thoughts on this. So
Mhm.
this is a completely unscripted podcast. This is
Yes.
a
No,
podcast
we're just showing up as ourselves. This
that
is
we were
ours. Yeah.
having. We're two friends having conversation, and I said, let's just turn the mic on. But I would love to know your thoughts on I'm I'm finding myself disappointed in some people because they're trusted brands. They are people. They
Mm.
are real humans. Because there's the other side of this, right? This is the slick part, I guess, maybe. And now I'm watching them all show up in Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And I know it's AI, I can tell.
Mhm.
And I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm disappointed every time I see it. I'm like, oh, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I think that's how I feel. Like, why
Yeah.
bother, really? I don't know. I have like a strong work ethic.
Mm,
So I'm happy to show up as myself. I'm happy to do things over and over. Like I hook rugs over and over again. And for me that I'm not anti AI. I think
no,
AI
me
has
either. Me
all
too.
kinds of wonderful
Yeah.
medical implications and working faster and getting opinions and editing all kinds of ways that I will use it,
Me too.
and try to understand it. I've always used technology as it's come about,
Me as well.
but
Yeah.
I think I want to be honest when I show up for the community at hookingrugs.com. I want to be me. I don't want an image of me with its mouth moving, you know,
That's
uh,
that's
because
yeah.
in showing up for people, we grow and we change and we learn. I want to write my own Sunday letters. We do this. Well, I write Sunday letters, which is part of my newsletter, and also some of the books that I write are the Sunday letters are in them, and I want to write them myself
Mm,
because in writing them myself, I deepen. I find a new energy. I learn about myself. And so, if I want to just put in 5 points and turn this into a Sunday letter, that all of that growth
mhm.
for me as a human being is going to be stunted, right?
Well, we have to put in the reps. I mean, in a good
Yeah,
way to
I
deepen.
want to put in the reps because
Yeah,
I get something out of it,
me as
right?
well. Yeah.
Yeah, as
I
a human being. Yeah.
I feel like so when I'm creating courses and programs or podcast topics or so I too I use I was actually, an early adapter to Facebook Lives and doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was on stages for Facebook because I was building a business with Facebook before that was a thing. So I'm not afraid of it, but
Mhm.
I'm with you. I did dabble a little bit in seeing how could AI make things move faster for me. And I'm sure everybody listening has dabbled, we're dabblers, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who are completely anti-AI, but I feel like at this stage in the game, we're almost like saying you're anti-internet. Like there's just it's happening. It's inevitable. It's
Yeah.
here. And
It's
there's
here.
wonderful uses. I'm using AI for um some things, but not for content or course creation or anything written from now. Like I might run it through and say check for mistakes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. I've actually given my AI given it the instructions to not change any even sentence structure
Mhm.
because that's how I speak. I'm messy speak. I'm not a writer as beautiful as eloquent as you are, but I do use it. I'm using AI to help with different things. So how I'm using it and how I see a lot of my clients using it is digital organization, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually just put in the other day, I asked it to, knowing what it knows about me, what would it put into, where were the gaps missing? Like what were topics I should talk about?
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. To me, it was beautiful idea creation. Like it was like, so, but then I wrote I do the podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
I did the work. I do the things. Yeah. I just feel like there's, again, I don't know. I don't, I think it comes down to being icky, in my opinion.
Mhm.
This is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Where is it icky? My podcast producer said, who happens to be my husband, said
Yeah.
to me, Do you know that the program we use to, just transcribe the podcast and get it live, which I don't do any of the tech stuff, he does all that. He said, "Do you know that we could feed it some topics and give it a picture, a recording of you, and like you never have to record another podcast for the rest of your life, and or we could put it on YouTube and pretty backgrounds and all this stuff, and my AI agent could do that." And I just burst into tears. Like I was like, That's awful." And he was like, "I know." But he's like, "That is a
Yeah.
thing now."
We're
That's
not doing that.
we're
Yeah.
like we're not doing that. He knows we're not doing that. I know I'm not doing it, but he was saying, "Did you know they're promoting this? They're doing that?" And
Mhm.
again, like you, I don't want an AI mouthpiece of Wendy out in the
No.
world.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, I want
yeah,
to just
yeah.
keep, I want to keep showing up as myself. I
Mhm.
want to show up authentically for my community. I want to build real relationships. Like as I'm making this podcast, there are 4 women out there now learning how to hook rugs in real life in our studio.
Right.
There were another group of 24 women on Zoom
Mhm.
with our makers meetup, and that is to me real. Those are real connections, real communities. It doesn't have to always be in real life. Like you and I have never actually physically met. You've been here in the studio, but I haven't been here. But we are friends, and we meet up once a month. We keep in touch. We learn about each other's communities. So I don't think everything has to be, done in your hometown. I love I love the potential of the internet, but I just want to make sure that I just keep being myself. And in being myself,
Mhm.
I deepen and I expand and I grow, right?
And the people around you do, if I may
And the
say.
people around me
I feel
do.
like
And I don't think that's going to happen for me if I just plug in, and create a voice for
better,
it
faster,
would
more
make it
efficient.
just makes me sad,
Yeah, it makes me
and
sad.
I'm not interested in that.
Mhm.
There will be ways that that technology, all kinds of technology, will change our business as we go forward, and I'm open to that. But I really believe in the value of making and in the value of creating beauty every day. That to me is critical. Community,
Mhm.
respecting tradition, but growing and simplicity, keeping it simple. This is a very simple way for us to create a podcast with our community,
Mhm.
getting together and having a conversation and sharing that conversation, right?
Yeah.
And if someone's driving to their retail store for you, or as someone's hooking their rug, they get a little glimpse of both of our stories and how we feel about business, and I think like that's good. That's a good thing.
I think
Yeah.
it's a good thing too. I do think, and again, conversations are, they don't need to be efficient. I mean, you know what I mean? They don't need to be programmed in. They don't need to be, I say conversations, but communications is the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
communication. Yeah.
Communication with our people. And I think to the point to what you're making, I'd love to add on that I think we get so wrapped up, and we can get so wrapped as business owners, as human beings in this world, especially if you're running a business or you're doing a job or you're trying to be efficient, you forget about being like simple.
Hmm.
Forget about being simple.
Yeah.
Simple act of writing your own newsletter, the simple act of walking into a studio and just, it doesn't have to be online and all the time. I mean, if you can, or into community,
Mm.
the simple act of having a conversation,
Yeah.
it's becoming a lot
It's a
better.
beautiful thing, right? It's a
Yeah,
rich thing.
yeah.
Makes me think like, and even like my own use of, how much time I spend online and how distracted I am by how much content I'm consuming
Mm.
rather than creating, right? I want to make sure that I'm creating content, whether it's a hooked rug or a podcast or a letter or whatever. I think about that, and then I think, one time it was a good idea to smoke cigarettes.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I
Like it
was
was a
there. I
really
was
good
there at one
idea.
point
You
in
looked really sophisticated And I smoked when I was very, very young,
Yeah.
and I loved smoking, right? There's like all kinds of reasons why I wanted to keep smoking, but I knew it wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke. Quit smoking when I was 21 years old. And I was 20. I was 20 years old. I quit smoking. And I think we need to sort of think about what's good for us in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
what enriches us, what's going to enrich our communities. And we need to deliver that.
Yes, I
That's the
100%.
challenge of a good life.
Yeah. 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 A great life is, it's how we spend our days, and are we doing enriching things? And we know the
Yeah,
answers, how we spend our days. And
we do.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, my mission, and this, my mission, and my my listeners know this too, is, we need to have we need to optimize for joy and creativity and beauty.
Yeah, we
and
do.
and whether that's in business, and I don't know, maybe it's because we are women of a certain age, but
Yeah.
we just see that it's not, and what does that optimization for beauty and joy, and a good life and a good business, and it is community. For me, it's community
Yep. It's
connection.
community and it's real communication, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Meaningful
simple.
communication,
as
meaningful
as a
relationships.
as a I don't know if I want to say a recovering overachiever. I realize I'm not an overachiever. I'm just like, I love doing, I love doing, I love doing, I love doing, I love doing for others. I love being there. I love to support people, but also, how do we keep that simple? How do we keep, and again, just conversations, and just realness for both of our communities. I know that's important. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wendy, before we wrap up this conversation, I just wanted to say to my community, because your community already knows you, that you are a caring and kind coach. And if someone is starting a business, or if they just want some coaching to grow in their lives, that you're a good choice. And I just want people to know that I value your friendship and what the work that you do in the world. So thank you.
I value
Thanks for having this with me, this conversation. I just appreciate it.
and I value you and my audience that are listening as well too. They've met you before, so
Yeah, I have
we've
been
had,
here
we've had
before with you.
conversations with you and about you. This is a fun thing, but I have as well. I value your outlook on business, outlook on life are mutually beautiful to me. And I value our relationship. And my listeners should know that visiting you at rughooking.com,
Cookingrugs.com. Yeah, come. I'll
cookingrugs.com.
teach
I
you
should
how to
know
cook
that by
rugs.
now. Cookingrugs.com. And yeah, and you have beautiful, you're just a beautiful human to follow. I want everybody to go follow you. And
I'm real.
you do, and you're real. Yes, there's no lips moving.
I'm really here in Amherst,
And
Nova
yes, and
Scotia. Yeah.
yesterday I saw you do one with a bull nose clip on your
Oh yeah, my bulldog clip video was fun.
such a joy, such a joy. And I just want to mention though that you have beautiful wholesale kits as well too. So I know
Yes,
that that's a
right. Because you have lots of retailers. Yeah. Yeah. We wholesale our rug hooking kits and we wholesale them across North America.
yes,
So
which is wonderful.
come,
So
come visit.
yes, thank you. And we're both in Nova Scotia. Funny enough, we are
I
both
know we are.
in Canada,
We
so,
found each other online. So it's
which is
good.
funny. Yes. So thank you so much, Deanne, for doing this and
Yeah.
being part of this dual podcast episode. And thanks to our listeners for listening to us.
Thank you to our listeners. See you, Wendy.
Bye, Deanne. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you were here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also, an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.